Do you think it's rude if you have a friend that's late to every scheduled event or hangout? Why or why not? Yes, I ended friendship because of that one time. A forms of mine was late everywhere every time, but at least 20 minutes. It was 20 to 40 minutes. So one time we were going to a museum and my friend said anyone will work for them because they have no other plans that day, so whatever I pick. And then when I was few minutes away from the place they messaged me and said they'll be 20 minutes late cause they left late, and I blew up completely. Told them I'm not waiting for them blah blah and how annoying it is they are late every time, and after that out friendship pretty much fizzled out. Depends on the circumstances. Like I have some friends who I play D with who have kids, and I understand that having kids is something that means sometimes you are just going to run late. Kids come before D. I know they're doing their best to be on time. If people are just chronically late because they're terrible at time management, then yeah, that's a different story because it shows you don't care. I have every excuse in the book to be chronically late. I have ADHD and am terrible at time management. But I overcompensate and show up early to everything all the time because I care so much about not being late that I put in that effort. The older I get and the more everyone's schedules start drifting apart, the more I appreciate how hard it is simply to get a group of people together in the first place. Do I think it's rude when people show up later than planned? Of course. Sometimes. Kinda depends on what kind of event it is. A birthday party I'd probably care more than just a kickback or something. Overall though, I'm just really happy if anyone is able to set aside any amount of time to hang out and catch up. Maybe that's a low bar. But I know how hard it is sometimes, and I don't know exactly what everyone is going through all the time. What other words are sweeter than I love you? I've discovered I'm loving you. My gal pal knows my heart is purring from her yumminess in that moment. We decided to scrap. I love you. It seems to be a stagnant approach to seeking to create a relationship. We've chosen to focus on relating as people. Not the shoulds defined by label consensus. People often ask how my sweetheart and I, M62, have kept loving for 40 years. I tell them that every single day I came home from work and as I walked through the door, as the doggo jumped on me, I was always greeted by the same three magical words singing out from the kitchen: "Are you hungry?" My other half does that, looks at me appraisingly, pretends to check a piece of paper for reference, and then says over his shoulder to an imaginary person, "Custom built. To my exact specifications. Perfect in every way." Or he mutters, 10 love units. Maybe even 11. I am far less original, but I tell him that he makes everything better. That I love having him in my life. That waking up with him is a pleasure and sets me up for the day. That I love listening to him because he is interesting and funny. That we never had a day together when he didn't make me laugh, and that I love how his brain works because he do often thinks of something that wouldn't have occurred to me. I love bringing him cups of tea and coffee. You're my safe space. I can look ugly with you. I walked in the door and hugged me, burying her face in my chest saying, "Really just wanted to feel your essence." She was in hospital and unconscious. I went to see her and wrote "I love you" on her hand. When she woke, she was pissed as no one was supposed to visit when she went in. When she saw what I did, the whole ward asked her when we were getting married. After a really bad asthma attack, she just said, "I'm glad you stuck around." Nuff said. Day sleep completely naked no matter what? Always sleep naked. I have rule with my GF partner that she sleeps naked, but sometimes when it's cold she asks me if she can wear a t-shirt and I have to remind her of the rules and I say it'll keep you warm. I like sleeping naked, but then I start overthinking. What if I have a medical emergency in the middle of the night? What if Teresa fire or something? Wouldn't want to be butt naked for any of that. That's usually when I put on a sleep shirt or at least panties. Always slept naked until I started co-sleeping with my babies. Not because of the nudity. But I also breastfeed and my youngest would stay attached to my breast all night long if I didn't have a tank top to slide over my boob. That's the only reason. He'll be naked as soon as she weans. I used to always sleep naked, but then I was in a house fire. The fire was at my daughter's house, so I wore pajama bottoms and a tank top to sleep in that night. My hands, arms and back got burned really bad. The PJ bottoms actually saved my legs from being burned because they had flame retardants on them. Now I always sleep in pajamas because I know how much they do help in case of a fire. Yup. Always sleep naked. I want completely unhindered movement. Unless I'm camping or sleeping away from home. But I always sleep like crap then either way. I'm also really particular with what bed linen and blanket I sleep with because I want the right feel to them. And also wash them often. I have slept naked since I was about 8 years old. If it's really chilly, I put on socks and a t-shirt. There's nothing wrong with sleeping naked. If you sleep in the same room with someone who you don't want to see you naked, take some underwear to bed with you and put it under your pillow for the morning. Or have a robe ready by the bed. I wouldn't get into a clean bed if my body were dirty. Though, I would take a shower first. What's the most texturally pleasurable food to eat? Ferrero Rocher. Ain't nothing better than those chocolate crunchy salty balls. With a center that is as smooth as silk. I love kunafa because the texture and flavor lol. But all the friends I've showed it to didn't like it because the texture. So try it curiously. A Walmart I worked at had Mexican baked goods. And there were the shortbread cookie things, polvorones I think, that are amazing. They are soft in the middle and more chewy on the outside. Not quite crunchy. Malted milk balls. The crunch is good. But also good to just suck on and feel it dissolve in your mouth. Really good watermelon. I mean like perfectly ripe and just equally crunches but melts in your mouth type good watermelon. A good medium rare steak after you've starved for a while and craved meat. Nothing like ripping into some steak after feeling feral from hunger and tired after a long week or camping trip. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the original 2-pack candy bar when they are fresh. They have the right balance of chocolate and peanut butter. And the chocolate snaps while the PB is soft. Artisan sourdough bread. It's crunchy on the outside. Soft in the middle. Add a smear of butter and some flaky salt and you have creamy crunchy. For me, it is crab meat. I love the combination of the sweet and salty flavor with the flaky texture of the soft tender crab meat. Not sure if it's been mentioned but, baklava. Is there anything more heavenly than this delicious treat? I worked in a large hospital for 16 years. One of our patients was an owner of a local Mediterranean bakery/bistro. After his discharge we received absurd amounts of baklava every Christmas for years. It continued until I left. It was so fresh and still warm when it arrived. We'll never forget.